Welcome back to another episode of the Hentai Literature Club, where here we look at hentai through the lens of literary criticism. I am your host, Josh from CAFCON. I am the club president of the Hentai Literature Club. And today the tag we're going to be looking at is Catgirls, but in addition to Catgirls, for the sake of fairness, we will also be looking at hentai related to Catboys, which is slightly different.
Did you kick Fitz out of the room before we get started?
No, he's somewhere in here, so just don't look at him weird.
Yeah, we were for the sake of the viewers. I'll tell them what we discussed at the door. As I was leaving the house, I bent down to pet the cat, and I couldn't help but think, holy shit, if he knew what I was gonna go talk about right now. But then, I thought about it, and I'm like, because when I used to go over to Bob's house to work on stuff, he had this magnet on his refrigerator that said, "Have you ever thought about what I named you?" And it was a picture of a dog. And I was like, nobody ever thinks about it from an animal perspective. And then I took that a little bit too far. I'm like, is there fucking cats out there that have a fetish for us?
Yeah, no, I don't want to think about that. No.
Alright, well, since our panelists are slightly different around this time, please go ahead and go around and introduce yourselves.
Alright, I got gestured to, so I guess that means I go. My name's Chaz. I administrate CAFCON, is that fair to say? Kind of?
That's a pretty apt description.
I do the things nobody else wants to do. I am also a writer, and I run the World of Darkness actual plays on CAFCON, also available to view or listen to wherever you're listening to this. Anything salient that I forgot? I do freelance writing. I'm a Pisces.
Ooh, let's all say what sign we are.
I guess it was.
Oh, what? He's also the student council president of CAFCON.
Aha, thank you.
Adam, you don't have a title yet. Go ahead and introduce
Head
yourself.
intern of CAFCON.
He's the gopher for the bullies.
Would that be the Kohai?
Well, there's always a character like that in anime and manga where it's the younger underclassman who always gets told by the upperclassmen, like, oh, hey, go get me the yakisoba bun from the lunch.
Oh,
And-
Sakamoto's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your official title, not Sakamoto?
So the other Sakamoto guy, Sakamoto's best friend.
No, you get to pick. You can be anything you want. Sky's the limit because it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. My name's Adam. I'm the best known as Carlo Martino, and if you're a fan of Capcom, you know me as that. That's all.
Clearly the most qualified to be here.
If you know what that is, don't worry about it. You don't want to watch it. It's fine.
And I mean, what would he be the president of? What club?
Well, you don't have to be the president.
Okay, well,
You
what
just have to
club
have a role in our CAFCON university, or
Is it a university? Isn't it more genre?
it's a high
On
school.
point to be a high school.
But you know how whenever they do like an erotic visual
We are
novel,
all fucking super seniors. What now?
it's like in every
senior.
erotic novel when it gets translated in English. If it's in high school, they're like, oh, these are university characters. Everyone here is over 21,
Oh,
but they're still wearing high school uniforms for some reason.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. I guess secretary, because I don't know if that makes sense though.
You
but
can be secretary of the hentai club with, wasn't Melinda the president?
I don't remember the
Well, I'm
arbitrary fucking titles we handed out, man. This was a month ago.
No, she went with the anime manga club.
Okay.
Adam, if you want, you can be the school secretary.
Okay.
of all the schools,
Or the Caffeinated Conquest High School.
And what is your astrological sign?
I think it's Virgo, but I'm not sure.
Okay, cool. Good enough. I'm Anai, and I have a cat who's,
Not in this room, hopefully.
I think he walked away, which I'm just good. I'm so glad. And I'm a Cancer.
Well, I already introduced myself.
Hey, I'm sorry for your loss. Saying that's it.
But I guess, what am I? I'm the Ram.
I don't know that.
Capricorn?
No. Aries?
Ah,
There we go. Yeah, so like I said, the day of the tag we're looking at is Catgirls and Catboys. Who here kind of wants to give me what you think? Who here wants to explain what the tag is?
Adam.
Adam, this is your inaugural episode.
It's I guess people who have human traits but also have animal characteristics. If that makes the best sense, I guess.
Okay.
Like people that have like cat ears and then cat tails. Sometimes cat feet. I don't know. whatever the jar is into, the artist is into.
Yeah, usually they always have the tail, they always have the cat ears.
I did notice that in a lot of the texts, a significant number of the cat people were more animalistic, feral. They had
Like
their
they walked
feet,
on all
claws. Yeah, I mean, just that one chick with the marks on her
lines
face.
on her face, yeah.
Yeah, usually in anime and manga, the cat girl or the cat boy always has the tail, they always have the ears, but then it's like up to artist interpretation where they also want to give them paws, and sometimes they'll give them like the whole cat leg up to like the knee point. It goes into like a whole demi-human thing, I guess is the best way to put it when it comes to anime, manga, and hentai.
I was expecting just like the cat ears and the cat features kind of thing. I wasn't expecting it to get this weird.
Dude, it got fucking weird. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I have to ask, because when we did tentacles, I know you went out of your way to find tentacle dojins that weren't rapey. Did you go out of your way to find cat girls that were weird?
Nope, this is just what was popular.
I hate myself.
I mean, you didn't contribute to the popularity, although
I read
we
it.
are.
I read it. I contributed.
Well, no, because now you're contributing because we're spreading the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now people are gonna.
This is
like
your
me
fucking
read it.
fault.
Josh, this is all because of you.
People were gonna find this out anyway.
We're just along for the ride.
You're gonna watch
I-
Nekopara eventually, guys.
Yes.
I did notice a trend, and I tried to have each one of those 3 trends be represented here.
3 trends. Interesting.
Yeah.
I saw 2.
So here's what I typically notice tends to happen when it comes to cat girls. Or cat boys as well. There's usually 3 ways it comes about, and I think the way most people think about it in anime and manga is that it's like cat girls are just a thing that happen in the world, where it's like there just happen to be people who also happen to have cat features, and it's just part of everyday life, and everybody acknowledges it, and it's not weird. And like the really popular visual novel series Nekopara kind of is what you're thinking of, or what I'm thinking of when I explain it that way, where it's just cat girls are a thing in the world, they exist, nobody thinks it's weird.
I mean, I think it's fucking weird, but I guess I'm the only one.
No, I
guess
mean like in
the
universe.
In the
Well,
universe.
Well, yeah, okay. I just remember when Melinda was playing through Nekopara, I'm like, there's literally a scene, I think it might have been in the OVA. She's watched a lot of Nekopara, but there's literally a scene in the OVA where he like picks them up out of a box as like little babies and takes them home. He's gonna fuck them. That's creepy as shit.
No, well,
I don't think he. Okay, I don't think he has sex with them in the OVA, but there's a lot of that in the fucking VNs.
Unless you buy it off of Steam, in which case it's censored.
No, because and I know this for a fact. I bought it for her. You can buy the patch separately.
Well, you don't buy it, I think you just find it.
No, oh, you can find it, you horrible pirate, or you can buy it from NekoWorks for $5.
Oh yeah, so that's one of the way where in universe cat girls are a normal thing, and sometimes other animal people are present. I think it's weirder when it's just cat girls, kind of like some horror universes where just vampires are real. But then the other way that it tends to pop up, and I don't know if this happens in regular anime and manga and not just hentai dojins, but there's the idea of the cat turning into a person. And to me, that's the really weird one, because that's the point where it kind of crosses into whether it's bestiality or not.
Well, I think I think that something that cropped up in a lot of the text today goes to show that there is. I'm trying to think about how to put this intelligently. There is, people, we invest a lot of emotions into our animals. We love our animals, right? And then, you go out on a date or you get burned by a significant other, or just something in your human relationship goes to shit.
People are shitty.
Right. I think there is a significant portion of the population that are like, oh, Fluffy, I wish you were a human because we get along so well, and if I could be in a relationship with you, then things would be so much better.
And they're like unconditional love, and they're loyal, and all of that nonsense.
I mean, honestly, it's probably because they don't have the same upper brain functions that we do, or otherwise they'd be just as shitty.
Yeah.
I think that's where that stems from. Also, we kind of touched on this in an earlier episode when Xavier asked where furries come from. But I wonder if a lot of that, like, to recap that, a lot of people, you know, when they're young, they start developing what they will psychologically find sexy when they become an adult. And, you know, a lot of the first women that we are introduced to in our formative years, or I guess men too, because they're female furries, are anthropomorphic animals. So I wonder if because of that, like, it kind of reverse engineers, you know what I'm saying? Like, people look at a cat and it's like, hey, if you were a chick, I'd plow you, you know what I mean?
I've never had any thought remotely at all like that
Okay.
cross my mind.
Well, okay, you're not a furry, I'm not a furry, I'm just speculating.
So yeah, the third one is probably the most vanilla one, where it's a cat girl, but it's just a girl dressed up like a cat girl.
That's just cosplay.
Yeah, but then it's still like a very specific thing, right? Because it's like you're not cosplaying a specific character, you're just playing the role of a cat girl. And to me, that kind of just gets into like the more normal in quotations idea of
Or acceptable.
yeah, or like pet play kind of stuff.
Like more like
Please continue. I don't have anything to add to pet play. Adam, do you have anything to add to pet
It's
play?
more or less like role playing. It's like role playing that scenario kind of. But that scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to me that's kind of like the three variations of Catgirl that tend to pop up, at least in hentai. I don't know if that pops up as well. It happens in regular quotations, anime and manga. Someone's gonna get mad at me for saying anime instead of anime.
Somebody's gonna get mad at you for pronouncing it properly? That's okay. There are people that'll get mad at you for saying fucking Simpsons is an anime. It is.
According to the Japanese, yeah.
If the Japanese think it's an anime or an anime, it is.
I'm sorry, but you can't weeb out so hard that you've created your own definition of what anime is that's only valid here.
The one thing I did like what you said though was that when I was listening to it earlier was it's called the isekai, whatever you call it. I don't know what you called it. I'm like
That wasn't me when I said
I
isekai.
remember. I think that was you or what about you
I
guys?
think Chaz said isekai at one
and then you
point.
just started changing it back and forth. I'm like, no, don't say it like this.
The Wizard of Oz.
It sounds weird.
The Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland, the original anime.
The original isekai story. Yes.
So yeah, let's kind of get into the tag and the text. What was your impression of the tag, and what were you expecting before you read these? What did you assume would be a feature of a Catgirl hentai doujin?
I was expecting it to be less rapey. Honestly, I was expecting it to be a little bit rapey, but not as rapey as it was.
You know what? I'm kind of with that. I was expecting, the first form of the cat girl in the oeuvre, I guess, where it's just, yeah, cat chicks. They're a thing because evolution went that way for some reason.
Somebody fucked their cat and they had a cat human.
I guess I was expecting a little bit of furry light. I don't know if I should bring this up yet because I feel like I'm shooting my wad on the analysis. But I remember years and years ago when I was way into Magic the Gathering, I was reading this article about the character designs of the Planeswalker characters and how they appealed to the fandom. And like the Jace, the Mind Magic Planeswalker, they said his design appealed to the players themselves because they would see themselves as less physical, more defensive, more trying to outwit people. It was a very unflattering article that painted all Magic players as 90-pound weaklings that live in their mom's basement groping waifu pillows. But the Fire Planeswalker, Chandra, somehow her having fire powers was de facto sexualizing her because we as humans, I get, or at least this person, fire is supposed to be passionate and sexy, and I'm like, it's fire. We're talking about fire. I don't think anybody's ever stuck their dick in fire, but there's something about there's something about human nature that causes us to project human characteristics onto non-human things. I guess you could say the same thing about mythology.
Yeah, personification.
Yeah, exactly. I think an aspect of the Catgirl, would you call it a fandom, fetish? I think an aspect of that is looking at a cat, seeing how lithe and dexterous they are, the way they move, and I guess that's alluring to some people. That sounds weird to fucking say, but...
Well, we're not assuming it's that's how you think of it. You're trying to get into the mind.
There's somebody out there that assumes this is the fucking internet. I'm already a Nazi to somebody.
Somebody out there thinks Chaz wants to fuck cats.
Well, Chaz, you are a Nazi. You like the Bruja clan.
that is a very inside joke that I wish would just go away.
Well, what about the rest of you? What do you think it is that people find sexually appealing about catgirls? Well, before you answer that, I would like to point out though that catgirls are in a way distinct from furries in the fact that they only have very minor characteristics of what a cat is, as compared to furries, where if there was a cat in a furry porn, they'd have full-blown fur all over their body and stuff like that, and
I think
far more animal-like than like what a catgirl is.
See, if Xavier was here, I think this is the part where he pulls out that chart of the 7 stages of furry.
Yeah.
I think maybe another part of it is like the Xeno file. You know what I mean? Where you're attracted to things that are different or weird or strange.
That's what I think I am, but I don't know. But for me, because the appeal of catgirls, like when I was thinking about it, like what appeals to them for me, like there's like in the catgirls, whenever it's a regular cat, you see the ears pop up whenever they wake up or whatever. Like you think that's cute, right? Like it's just another cute factor to a girl, pretty much, is what my thought of it was. I don't know if that makes sense though.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
You think that
like it's like another
because guys get attracted and I guess to an extent turned on by cuteness. I understand that. And then when you add cat characteristics on top of it, it becomes more cute. That's interesting analysis and far less creepy than what the fuck I was talking about.
I'm just trying to normalize it for you, Chess.
Well, it's kind of like adding like a kawaii factor to it.
Yeah,
like there's like a big aspect of Japanese culture where they like things that are either kawaii or moe, and you could look at a cat and say a cat might be moe, or at least an artistic representation of a cat is moe.
What was that one movie you sent to Melinda where that samurai just picks up the cat?
It was like I can't remember the name. I haven't saved on my phone though. But
It's cool. I was just curious. That reminded me.
Yeah, there's this idea of
The
like
cat, yeah.
it adds an element of cuteness or an element of moe to a girl that adds to that idea of like, oh, this thing is cute, it's adorable, I love it. And or if it's moe, it's kind of like, oh, look at this sweet thing, I have to protect it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
With my penis.
What do you think is the appeal, not just for cat boys, but
I wish the audience could see the look on her face just now. You were skeeved right the fuck out.
Well, we're gonna figure out a way to live stream this at some point.
It's I agree with Adam that it's just kind of like I think the cat ears are cute and like
And the tail too,
the
right?
tail, yeah.
And
the tail is cute. I don't think it's cute on my cat. I think he's cute, but it's not like a sexual kind of cute. I also don't think it's a sexual kind of cute for me with the girls or boys, but I don't know, the little ears are cute and the tail is cute. So when you told me that was the topic, I got excited and then I started reading and then I got depressed a little bit.
Melinda, she was super excited when I told her we were doing Catgirls. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today. She's not feeling well. But she was super excited, and I said, hey, Josh put up the texts. So she opens the first one, and like, nope, can't read it. She made it to page 1, and I think you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for clarity's sake, I put 4 different works. I put 2 with Catgirls, 2 with Catboys. I at least put 1 of each of the 3 permutations I noticed. And I asked them to pick 2 of them to discuss, and we'll see which ones we end up discussing more and less. Do you guys have any other thoughts about your impressions of Catgirls, not just as like a sexual thing in hentai doujins, but something in as they are in like anime and manga culture?
I think it's just they're cute.
Yeah, I think it adds to the waifu factor, and then we'd have to get into psychologically like why people pick waifus.
And yeah, I think it's cute, and not just the cats. Like a while ago, oh, this is embarrassing. I downloaded this game that was like, I don't know. It was a weird matchup anime kind of game where
Oh yeah, Semen Inferno Rape Assault.
At one point, the like characters started turning into animals, but then they had the in between, where they had the ears and the tails, and some were like foxes and dogs and cats and a bunch of weird shit. And at that point, it just got a little too weird, and I stopped playing it. But like, it's a wildly popular thing because it's cute. It's a Gets a little weird though.
I also think it kind of gets into the idea of like animals are simpler creatures than us.
Here comes Josh with the intelligent, rational explanation.
Well, it's like you guys pointed out the ears and the tails, and usually they're used as a very emotive element on the character. You can kind of tell what a cat person is thinking or feeling because they have the ears and the tail to tell you, right?
Yeah.
And it gets into the idea that maybe people like these kind of characters because it's easier to read in addition to being cute. It's like with the human, sometimes you kind of have to figure out the puzzle pieces of another person's emotions and thoughts. But the cat person, you kind of get like, oh, look, they're happy, they're sad, because you can tell because the ears are up or down or the way the tail is moving.
Now, I have a question about that. Because in the, I guess in the medium that we were discussing in anime and manga, haha, I said it too, sue me, weebs. In the medium that we are discussing, the characters on their own are just wildly expressive. So I don't like that they're drawn that way for a reason. That's why they have these big ass eyes. That's why there's these reaction shots of the character falling over with a huge sweat bead. So again, is that an aspect of the tag or is that an aspect of the genre?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's also even further exaggerated, I think, because of the eyes and the ears.
Somebody name a Catgirl that isn't anime or manga.
Someone say
Really,
really.
the only one I can think of right now is Catwoman in fucking Batman Red Rain trilogy.
but then would that, like what's called, would animated Batman be animated?
I mean, technically, yeah.
You're splitting hairs. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking a different art style.
I mean, we could just go with the live action Catwoman.
Well, no, the reason I say that is because if you're putting forth this thing about cats being more expressive, does that translate to other mediums? Is what I'm asking. Or is it strictly an anime and manga thing? And if it's only an anime and manga, then it brings me back to my previous question: is that a thing of the tag or a thing of the genre?
I think it also might be just the different way people perceive cats, like culturally, because
Very interesting.
Because Americans, I think we tend to look at cats and we kind of see like, oh, look at these fickle little assholes kind of things.
That's
people
just
still,
you, Josh. That's
Oh
you.
no!
People still
I'm
love
gonna
cats.
I'm gonna quote our viewer Mazzy Chartzar, who once said, "All cats should be named you fucker."
I just thought of a cat girl that's not anime. Hermione in one of the books.
Oh, she turned.
Harry Potter
Yeah, she turns
into a cat.
No,
It counts.
it counts.
It counts.
But I don't know. But see, what you're saying about cultural makes a lot of sense. Although to me, that lends. I don't think it's much an expression thing. I think that's like a moe thing, because I guarantee if you put cat ears on a live action Japanese girl, she's gonna play up the moe factor. She's gonna do the paws up here, and she's gonna do the nya, and so that makes a lot of sense. The cultural aspect to it.
Also, I think it's like in a lot of these hentai doujins that we're going to look at, there's also like an ease in the relationship when a relationship does form. In the fact that even though it's like, oh, we're sexual partners or we're romantic partners now, the cat person is still very much a pet. In that they're kind of a low maintenance partner that doesn't expect a lot from you, and you don't have to expect a lot of the trials and tribulations you would expect from a normal human relationship.
It's part power play.
Yeah, I would say it's power play. I also think it's also like a just like fantasy, like the fantasy of like, oh, real girls or real boys are so hard to understand. Fluffy would be so much easier to understand if they were a person.
All you do is feed them and then you're good to go. Yeah.
That's a little creepy though, right?
Yeah.
Because like a pet can't leave you unless it runs away. It's almost like
But cats are always like, well, cats are the ones that would run away though. Most of the time.
I just want to apologize to any listeners that might have a pet Fluffy. I'm sorry.
And then bring your cat out of the room, okay, guys?
You should have thought of a more original name.
Like Garfield.
Yeah, well, I guess let's get into
Ronaldo. We're gonna get it. It doesn't matter what we pick. Fucking.
What is it? There's
No.
two kinds of cat names. It's either you name them after like a normal person, or you give them something fucking weird like Switchboard.
Switchboard the cat. Switchboard the cat is the theoretical cat that gets fucked in our
Yeah, Switchboard or Handkerchief or something like that. So yeah, let's get into the text. Who here wants to say the two that they picked? Well, For our viewers, I'll name the 4 that we do have. We have Doumou's going into heat like a cat. We have June's Kemonokko Tsuushin, Nekomusume Nia, or Beast Girl Communications Catgirl Nia, Konshin's Ichiya no Maho One Night Magic, and Shiomaneki's Tonari no Neko ga Suki, or I Love the Cat Next Door.
So I'm going to start with going into heat.
Oh, so that's one of the ones you picked?
That was the king of the creep factor for me.
What was the other one you read, though, just before we get into
I read all of them, by the way.
Okay.
I'm perfectly happy if we want to go down the list. We might as well.
What were the 2 that you planned on talking about?
The 2 I planned on talking about was Going into Heat and Shiomaneki's, I think.
The one with the next door neighbor?
I Love the Cat Next Door.
But I think that illustrates like my 2 vectors of Catgirls that I discovered. It's either one, it's like, oh, humans suck, I wish you were a human switchboard, or it was, I just have a fetish for cats. To me, those are the 2 I wanted to pick.
What about you, Adam? If there was 2 you wanted to talk about, what were they?
The one that was like the weirdest one to me was like the guy that like actually saw them like regular cats.
Oh, the Going into Heat?
Yeah, I think that was that one. Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
What was the other one you'd want to talk about?
It's the one where I guess they're both the ones with the girl, so like, it doesn't really matter. But
well, the idea was to pick one with the cat girl, one with the cat boy.
That's why I'm like.
What would be the cat boy one you want to talk about?
Both of them were like the same on weirdness, I guess. Well, I guess the one with the witch was a little bit weirder though.
Yeah, both of them were not great.
Yeah.
What about you? What were the 2 you would want or you would like to talk about?
I wrote extensive notes on all of them.
Is English you showed it?
No. I don't. It doesn't. Okay, when I read the Going into Heat title, I cringed so much. I didn't want to read it. I don't like that title.
But you know what's weird?
Unrelated, but I don't like
but it's
it.
it's like the perfect title though. It's like what else would you name that?
Did you notice that theme, I guess, was also present in the other one with the cat girl?
Oh yeah, I was hoping to talk about that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in the one with the guys. But anyway, continue. I'll shut the fuck up because I keep blowing my load on the analysis.
No, that's fine. What was the other one you would have wanted to talk, or the other one you thought the most about?
Honestly, I have a lot of thoughts on the what was it? Kemonokko, whatever, the second one you mentioned.
Oh,
Yeah, and nobody else seems to, but I think
Which one is that?
that's the one where the guy gets an app that gives him a cat girl.
We might as well just do all 4 at this point. We're
I
bringing
mean,
it up anyway.
if anything, we can just make like little comments. We don't have to discuss it in depth.
Yeah, because that was like the first one I read. I'm like, okay, this one's like the most like the one. Yeah.
This one doesn't make me feel like I'm raping my cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the neighbor one, I hated. It was just not great for me. But I have more notes on the other one.
Oh, for the one where the witch turns her familiar into a person?
Yeah.
Also, very rapey.
Yeah. They're both children.
Shorter comments in there for sure.
Yes.
She mentions it in the witch
Okay,
one.
yeah.
She mentions it's still a kid.
Yeah. That
And
one
then-
she mentions. I don't know so much about the last one because, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the last one the guy had his own apartment, didn't he?
I thought he just lived with his parents.
I thought the
assume
implication was that he had his own
I
parents. So
honestly, I assumed he lived with his parents, but I don't know. We can look into it.
by any chance, did the final doujin have the giant girl or large girl or tall girl tag, anything like that?
I can't remember, but I can look it up.
Because
I thought that was just because he was a kid.
I thought that was because she was a
The giant,
big woman.
the tag.
All right, well, let's look at
Well,
going
didn't she call
Okay.
him?
So I'm sorry, I've got to point this out. I don't know if it's an overactive imagination or what. So this one, I guess I will.
Going into Heat is the one we're looking at.
Going into Heat. I will do the duty of giving the overview. So it is this guy who goes over his girlfriend's house, and her cat, her actual cat. Like, we are talking switchboard right now. Her actual feline, non-anthropomorphic cat is going into heat. Anyway, she leaves to go get drinks, as you do. But she doesn't realize that this guy has some sort of disorder or power or something where he sees all
a
cats.
disposition, quotation mark. That's what he calls it.
His disposition, where he sees all cats as people.
Well, it's cat people, but
And then the I guess henceforth cat girl notices that he sees her as a person and says, "Hey, I'm in heat. Help me out. Let's fuck." They bang. The guy kind of feels guilty a little bit about cheating on his girlfriend with the cat, losing his virginity to the cat. Which why are they always virgins? I don't understand what that signifies in Japanese culture. But she loses virginity to the cat. Cat's like, "Don't worry about it. Your chick has taken like 5 dicks, bro. Like she's stepping out on you hard." So, and then I'm assuming this one continues. Like the story goes on, or is this on a one shot?
No, I think it's a one shot.
Oh, that surprised me. Anyway, I want to know one thing. Okay, so the text kind of like right here, I guess between here and when the cat girl is talking to him, it's like, so what was it? So you see me? You can see me something?
Yeah, well,
I think that's on page 2.
She's,
I think so.
The cat girl is talking to him, and then he says something where he answers what she says, and then she's like, "Oh,
It's
so
right there.
You can see what I
You're
look
one
like."
of those people who can see me.
Okay, so the text does kind of imply that this is like her true form, and maybe he has like some rare special power where he can actually see the true form of these creatures. But what does it look like outside of his head? Is he like using switchboard as a flashlight?
Yes.
Did anybody else think about what that looks like from anyone else's point of view?
I thought about it, and the way I saw it was more. This
No Fitz, leave the room.
go with
Hide your virgin eyes. I want to pet you, but I feel dirty.
the way that I read it was kind of like, this is the way that he, as a human being, justifies being able to fuck a cat.
Really? So
Yes.
you don't think that there's any reality here whatsoever?
No, that was in my brain. Like, this is all in his imagination. He imagines her talking to her, and it's kind of like, oh, I have this special power nobody else has, or very few people have, that can see cats in their true form, and therefore I can fuck this cat.
That's fucking twisted. I like it. Also,
that makes sense now. Yeah.
like, look at the way she's portrayed. Okay, regular cat girl, huge titties as you do, fucking gloves, fucking cat feet, and those cat feet creep me the fuck out.
It's cat socks.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, right? They don't
Yeah.
look right. She's got the pads. Like, why do you think she was depicted like that? Or was it just an artistic choice? If so, why did the artist make that choice? Again, I wish Tom was here, because he's the art analysis guy.
I think it's one of the phases between full cat and cat girl kind of
Yeah.
thing,
I don't know. Like,
where it's a little closer to cat than the other ones.
I haven't seen a lot of cat girls depicted that way. Usually when you see it, it's... God, I feel like I'm weeping right the fuck out making this reference. Curse you fuckers. I guess not you guys specifically, but curse you fuckers for showing me, but Cat Planet cuties. Like, that's how I usually imagine cat girls in anime. I've never seen more, I guess, feral features on them.
I'm gonna have to Google it.
It's cat girls with big tits. I mean, but they
And that one, don't the cat girls also go into heat at some point?
I didn't watch the motherfucker. It was on in the background when I was running D&D.
What was it called again?
Cat Planet Cuties.
And you just said it.
Well, because
Some motherfucker. You're looking this up right now, aren't you, pervert? I see you, listener. Unless you're driving to work, but you've resolved to look it up later.
well, the reason we know about
Hi,
it is
Daryl.
because
I'm sorry, Daryl. I'm not calling you a pervert. You're just an awesome guy. Want to give you another shout out. Fist bump.
But what was I gonna say? But yeah, you're correct when you say that usually cat girls in anime, even in worlds where cat girls are a normal thing, they usually don't have the hands and the feet of a cat.
Yeah.
Although sometimes they do. Except she has like cat glove hands.
Yeah.
Usually
They
they
do
have-
look weird. I think if they were paws,
Yeah,
it wouldn't be.
will that be weird? That's okay. It's like hairy hands, I guess.
There's-
I guess.
It's just hairy hands, but I don't know.
Like,
So-
like,
so
look
this
at, look
is
at that
closer to
shit right there.
furries.
Upper right hand corner of the
Page
second
2.
page. Yeah, that's her fucking knee, where her ankle should be.
No, that's her.
Well, I mean that's like the second knee. That's the one that goes backwards. And then if you look, I don't honestly remember what page it's on, but there's one where you actually like see the foot in full articulation, and it just creeps me right the fuck out. I'm sorry, I'm making art comments, and we need to analyze
No,
literature.
it's fine.
Adam, what is your literary analysis of the
Well,
text?
did you have a point in this text that stood out to you? Was there like a page or an incident you remember?
Goddamn, dude, I'm sorry, I'm derailing the fuck out.
No, it's okay.
I don't know if it was this one, but I think it was like page 7. There was some like, well, I can't remember if it was that page or not. Let's see.
You can tell me when you see it. What is that? 4, 5, 6.
Okay, see, I have a question. If this is his imagination and he's just like doing this, how the hell is she doing paizuri?
He's rubbing that cat up. He's rubbing that cat up.
Like a balloon on someone's hair chest.
He just kind of.
Neko-chan, stop it!
Oh no! Fitz, go away.
Was it this page?
Oh god, he's staring right at me. He knows what I said.
That was
I'm so sorry. He's staring at me. Come here, Kibitz, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, Adam.
There was like you see like the paws on the feet, like the I don't
Yeah,
know,
the little
yeah,
pads.
the little pads. I'm like, that's the part I'm like, what is that like?
You know what? Now that I think about it,
that was the part that I'm like, what? Yeah, that was a little creepy.
technically, Felicia from Darkstalkers is, I guess, worse than this in like the anthro or the more cat, less girl. But for some reason, that doesn't bother me as much as this does. Maybe because this depiction is too feminine and to the point where those small alterations just stick out as strange to me.
'Cause it also kind of looks like she's wearing socks.
That's what I thought.
Then-
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like it's a cat sock, but then her
looks
ankles,
weird.
your ankles are like bended again, like double bented. Yeah, that's the part I'm like. The feet were a little strange. Depiction right there.
Your cat thinks I'm a pervert now.
Yeah. Also, it's a little unrelated, but this girl. Okay, it says. Well, actually, I'm gonna start. He says in the very beginning, this is his first date with his very first girlfriend.
And then he-
Oh, really?
This is how he's gonna lose his virginity.
Was this girl? Yeah, was this girlfriend? And then yeah.
And I was just like, really? You're gonna lose your virginity to the first in the first? You expect it's gonna happen so soon?
We lost it faster.
He wasn't wrong.
But okay. Also, it's his first date with his first girlfriend. They don't know each other very well, and she just let him in her house. She
That-
just left him there.
Do you think that goes back to what Josh said a while back about how some of the authors can be more sexually inexperienced? Like, now, there's two ways to look at that. One, the character himself could be inexperienced expecting sex on a first date. Or
Well,
two,
he is inexperienced for sure.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense.
or two, because she allowed him into the house, like, right off the bat, and then left him there. Could the writer be more inexperienced? And I feel like if you're going to write about this stuff, you should know something about it. But
I didn't get the impression that this was their first date. I thought it was like, oh,
He says so.
did he? I missed that
Very,
too.
very
Yeah.
first page.
Nobody reads nobody credits. Just kidding.
It
no, on the
says.
first date with my first girlfriend. Yeah,
Where,
you're
where
right.
is it?
I was planning on losing my virginity on the first date with my first girlfriend, but
Oh.
no. So here's one of my questions: how does the sex act going on with the cat? How do you think that kind of plays into like thoughts about human sexuality?
Well, again,
Because there's, like you pointed out, there's the element of the cat being in heat. So right off the bat, it's kind of like this is a female partner who wants sex.
yeah, I think there's definitely that.
There's like willingness there. He's like, okay, it's just
Like, well, there's that
That's-
misconception, like, no woman wants sex ever. That is so prolific and so common amongst so many dudes. I mean, there's entire. Look at the fucking incel community. Look at the fucking what you call it, the black pill people. There is a vast amount of people that revolve around that misconception. You just got to do it right, guys. But I think there's definitely a part of that. I think that's why the heat part shows up with the women and not the men. But also, I think this highlights what I was talking about. If I can, okay, I'm sorry. Remind me. In our particular flavor of literary criticism, are we taking the author out of it?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
When we actually talk about authors and their works, I would like to kind of go into the author background, but that's not.
Fuck is
right
that?
The dogs next door, they can tell we're talking about gross things.
Like hentai. Yeah.
Another curious question: why do you think catgirls are a thing, but dog people aren't necessarily a thing?
Because
Well, like cats are more worship, like they're more I guess more preliminary in Japan. I guess like there's
Do you think
the
there's like
cat
higher
owners.
amount of pet ownership with cats?
Yeah, that's what my guess is. Like there's always the crazy cat.
I was gonna say, do you think it has something to do with people thinking cats are more erotic than dogs are for some
well,
reason?
look at all the Inuyasha fan art. There's dog people. I just think it's for the most part dogs are, and I say this as a dog lover. Dogs are filthy and dumb.
Dog lumberjacks.
Get the fuck out of here! But
Yeah.
no, like I'll give you an example. Like the other day, I was babysitting my little sister's puppy, and she was running around in the yard. She was eating dirt. She was just slobbering all over everything, drooling. Who wants to fuck that? Like humanize that. You don't take that guy home.
He's just a drunk man. Don't worry about it.
What do you think? How do you think the sexuality of like the whole cat and the heat kind of thing play into what's going on in this story?
I don't know. What I was thinking a little more was with how inexperienced he is. Now, I'm not saying that every inexperienced person out there wants to fuck a cat, but when I was reading it, it was just kind of like he's an inexperienced person that wants to go have sex with somebody, but they're
You're not willing yet.
Well,
There-
it's kind of like a human broaching that idea of having sex with a human seems too difficult. Is that where you're getting at?
So he doesn't want the first time with a human might be too scary, I guess, or so he has to go about it with a cat first.
Let me ask you this: do you think? Oh, thank you, Fitz. I love you too. I won't molest you. I promise. Do you think there's an aspect of ownership in there?
Oh, definitely.
Like it's a little dark, isn't it? It's like I own you. You have to fuck me now.
Also,
I think
he
some
doesn't
people
even
want that kind of relationship.
he doesn't
though.
even own that cat though.
Yes, yeah, but I mean, animals
Sexually,
can't really consent. Well, I guess cat girls can. I don't know, man.
but not really.
There is so much weird with this text.
Well,
I don't know.
something I wanted to point out was that when it comes to the Catgirls, I think in both these stories, and in the wider genre, it seems as though a lot of times the Catgirls tend to push themselves onto the male characters.
Okay, that's just the wider genre. It's women who want to fuck. I think that's a large trope that you see in any kind of porn. Really, it doesn't even have to be this. It's just guys labor under the idea that no woman wants sex ever, and so a fantasy is women that want sex.
Also, I want to make sure we don't gloss over the fact that he basically slut shames her, and he just had sex with her fucking cat. Like, that's okay, but she can't have sex with 5 other guys.
That's a good point.
I also think 5 seems like a large number because it's like a... How do you say this? It's...
Are you gonna slut shame now, Josh?
No,
it's one
Japan.
for each day of the week. Taking weekends off, of course.
Well, you guys, it's like the thing about
Japan has the whole declining
Yeah.
birth rate issue, so a lot of people aren't having sex, and so like here in America, the statistic is that each person is likely to have at least 7 sexual partners.
Really?
Holy
Yeah.
shit! I'm not even halfway there.
Yeah, so the statistic I think is that most adults will have at least 7 partners in their lifetime.
Oh, okay.
Or I guess I am halfway. Do you want to round up with that?
So to us, 5 seems like she's kind of on the way there to the average number. But I was wondering if in Japan it's like, wow, 5 guys, Jesus Christ kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, isn't hand holding kind of shameful? I don't know to what extent that's a meme and to what extent that's serious. Because I do think there is like a...
I think in Japan they have less of a culture of public displays of affection.
Yeah, well, there's also more of like an alienation between men and women, isn't there?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, I think guys are less comfortable around women and vice versa as a whole.
Well,
Okay, so I like this show called Terrace House, and it's like this Japanese thing where a bunch of people are living in a house, and
It's kind of like Japanese Big Brother.
but not as hardcore. Like they're free to go wherever they want. And in one of the seasons, they're in Hawaii, and it's this guy from the U.S. is flirting with a Japanese girl. And he's acting like a normal guy in the U.S., holding hands and like touching her back and things like that. And then when they get home, she's talking about it with the other girls in the house, and she's making it in her eyes. It's like he held my hand. It's the first time we've ever been out, and we were out in public, and he was holding my hand, and he like was getting close. And it wasn't even anything sexual. It was just the difference in cultures that I guess we do forget about sometimes.
We are whores.
We're all just a bunch of sluts.
So, before we linger on this one too much, if we are going to go through all 4 texts, I say we should move on to the next one, which also is the second Catgirl story.
Okay, now this is the one that I think Adam said he found the most interesting. So you get to do the synopsis here, my bro sandwich.
If it opens, there we go.
like,
Here we go. This is the June's Beast Girl Communications Catgirl Nia. I think this one might be part of a series.
By the way, this one creeped me out too, just because it's like straight up sex trafficking.
Except I wrote that down. Oh my god.
Go ahead and give us a quick summary, Adam. Everybody will do one.
this one is just I guess assuming an otaku just ordering a ride from another dimension with the phone app.
As you do.
As you do, yeah.
Specifically Beast Girl.
Beast Girl,
He
yeah.
wants a Catgirl, so he requests one.
To a vet, like he called a vet.
I think he says at a particular pet store.
Oh, a pet store. That's so weird.
I thought it interesting that the survey is like, what's your favorite animal?
Yeah,
Because would I end up with a bat then? I don't know how well that would work out.
She'd have like little wings. It'd be so cute.
It looked like a succubus.
It could, it could look like the succubus, or it could look like fucking Rouge from Sonic, and one of those I'm more comfortable with than the other.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Do you want to add anything to your synopsis?
I'm sorry, he hasn't even started. I just cut him off completely. Go ahead.
I have short and sweet synopsis, but then they get it on, and
Well, she gets drunk first.
well, she gets drunk and she wants to get food, and then he's like, well, she gets scared of the real world, of like that world, because she's like, what is a car? Like, what is this moving metal box? And then he's like, listen, like he's showing her the way this world works, I guess. Then he gets her drunk.
Okay, he doesn't deliberately get her drunk.
Yeah. Well, he gets
you give beer to somebody that's never had beer.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she warms up to him too much.
Yeah, and then they end up playing a game because she realizes he's checking her out. She's like, oh, let's see who's going to make the other person come first. As you do.
Yeah.
And then she ends up realizing, like, hey, this place isn't so bad, I guess I'll stay
if you do
here.
it right, it's just rock, paper, scissors.
So this is a trope I've seen in hentai before, though, where it's like, oh, I have this idea of a dream girl or something like that. And then the guy ends up... There's like this weird sub-thing. I don't know if it's like a trope or what you would call it. But it comes up a lot in hentai where a guy gets an app on his phone.
Yeah.
And the app either allows him to control women or control aspects of women, or allows him to get like the girl of his dreams some way through the ease of his phone.
Yeah, there's like an app for everything, pretty much, kind of thing.
It's almost like there's like this fantasy of, I wish having a girl and having what I want in a sexual relationship is as easy as using an app on my phone, kind of thing. And maybe we'll have a whole episode dedicated to how that plays out, because some of those get really dark. This one is probably on the lighter end of that spectrum.
I don't know. I had some pretty not great comments on this one.
Oh no, go ahead. Point out to a moment you'd like to discuss.
Well, it wasn't just a moment, and it was a whole thing. Like when I was thinking about it, I connected it a little to. Okay, so she's brought to this place. She's basically kidnapped, sex trafficking, like Chaz pointed out.
And what's worse, I don't know if you're going to get to it or not, but I just want to point out the condition for her to go home
is to get pregnant.
Right, not even just sex. She has to get pregnant. That is horrific.
First thought.
That's a no-win situation.
First thought. If she has to get pregnant to go back, what are they doing with the children in that other world?
Holy fuck, I didn't even think of that. I just assumed she went back and would have to raise it, but...
I don't know, like, are they building an army? Are they...
We will do what Steve Jobs could not. Cat women for everyone.
Or is it like, is it more just breeding for the cat, the, like, sex trafficking? Are these children going to be born into being slaves?
I don't think they're born into being slaves, because, look, she's pretty surprised that she showed up.
Yeah.
I assume that she's just like some feral cat chick from a cat chick planet.
That was just transported. Yeah, but what if this is a start, and that's why they have to get pregnant to go back, so they have a stock that's just ready for them?
I mean,
we don't know. We don't know what's happening.
Why does she have leggings?
I have no idea.
She's here. I mean, I guess she could have left her clothes behind when she was summoned, considering what she was doing at the time. But
well, didn't she get something like doing it like just orgasming though, or like yeah?
I mean, yes, Adam.
Well, yeah, the whole thing that she's in heat when she gets transported over is pointed out on his phone. And she's in the middle of masturbating when she gets summoned to this world.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess in her world she could just wear clothes. She seems to know what clothes are, so maybe she does. I just thought it was weird that, this is the dress of my people.
I'm assuming she just got like partially undressed and then to masturbate and then did it and got summoned halfway through.
Did you have any other thoughts that you wanted to point out?
Yes. So when I was thinking about it after reading it, I just couldn't help but stop thinking about how she was forcefully taken to this place where with somebody that she doesn't know and she doesn't want to know, but it's kind of like she submitted herself to an abuser, you know, like
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, like
we didn't get to that part. So the twist is she goes back if she gets pregnant unless she agrees to become the guy's pet, and then after they fuck, she reveals that I decided to be your pet now. Again, that tinged my radar too.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, there's so many women out there that are in abusive relationships and then they can't leave just because they can't, and that's just what it brought to mind.
And that guy's totally counting on fucking her too.
Yeah.
Because when he came back, he had fucking sex toys, and I feel like a fucking virgin asking this. What the fuck is Silvervine?
Oh,
is that just lube?
No, it's not.
It's a cat thing, right?
It's catnip.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a Japanese type of catnip.
Yeah.
I thought it was like fucking that. What do you call that? That fucking ointment that makes your clit super sensitive or something. Anyway, shows what the fuck I know, but anyway.
Yeah, you know what super sensitive clit ointment is.
But he came back with this shit.
Yeah.
Like, he just had it ready. So, like, this guy did not have as noble aspirations as he was.
As they could have, as it made out to seem.
Well, even for the app though, so that's like after he got used to it out of it, so that's what.
One of these cat girls will fuck me.
There's a YouTuber that I watch a few videos of him, and he's called Pop Culture Detective, and he has a video where he talks about this trope in media, specifically movies, where it's the idea of a girl who was born yesterday, and he uses the examples such as Lilu from Fifth Element.
Ooh, I love that movie.
And
Firefly.
Yeah, that too, and then Olivia Wilde's character from the Tron reboot movie or sequel. And
I saw that, and I don't fucking remember Olivia Wilde.
She's the main female character in it.
I don't fucking remember that movie.
With the pixie haircut.
I remember Tron dies at the end. Holy fuck, spoilers.
10-year-old movie spoilers.
People still get mad. This is the internet.
You're on the internet. Jon Snow dies. I'm sorry. Spoilers. Get over it.
I mean, did they bring him back, or did he die again?
More spoilers. Yeah, but he has this video series where he talks, well, not series, this is a specific episode that he does where he talks about women born yesterday and the idea of like this woman who either comes from another world or is literally born the day beforehand, but is a fully realized woman who doesn't understand things like modesty and adulthood and human culture. So a man, usually a very normal, unspectacular man, then has to guide her through what it is to be a normal human or adult in this world.
Bruce Willis is not a normal, unspectacular man. I'm sorry.
That was one of my criticisms with the video. Not necessarily that aspect, but the idea that, well, not all these men are that unspectacular. But usually it's like a guy who's a pretty normal guy who ends up with this spectacular woman who doesn't know what it is to be human because she's literally born the day before or is resurrected or what have you.
I've noticed that trope too, but I just always assumed it's because guys wished hot chicks walked around naked.
That kind of plays into it, right? Because they don't have an idea of what, like...
Clothing?
What's socially acceptable.
Yeah. And so it then becomes that this spectacular woman ends up becoming attached to this, quote, unspectacular man simply because he's the first man she's come in contact with, and that the whole idea of that being a male fantasy of like, oh, who am I and what do I have to offer? I don't really have anything to offer a partner. But if there was this girl who didn't know about what a great guy is, or what a spectacular guy is, or an exceptional man, and I just happened to be that first guy she met, then she'd have to be attached to me. And that's kind of what I saw happen here in this hentai doujin, where there's this cat girl from another world. She has no idea like what the context for our human reality is.
She has no idea there's other not rapey men out there.
I mean, they have to have cat dudes on her planet, right?
I guess. Yeah, because obviously the way they reproduce is... Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. I feel like you two always go for the darkest interpretation of what a hentai is. But I think Xavier and I usually have like a less dark interpretation because for us it just seems like this is what the genre is like.
Maybe because I don't read it very much.
That's true.
Because to me, I will agree to what you all are saying, that if you take this to the logical conclusion, it can be pretty creepy. But I think to a lot of people who read hentai, they don't see that aspect of it. And like I said, this one to me, I would assume it appeals more to men. Simply because it's that whole, here's this really hot cat girl, and now she's attached to me because she really has no context for how to live in this world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, would you all have any thoughts on that or reactions?
The only thing that I thought was like the thing from our Chicago Chronicle, the third-eyed girl, the
salubri?
Yeah, like we had to teach her like the lesbian doesn't like relate to hentai at all, but
but Xavier never tried to fuck her.
No, that's not, it doesn't relate to hentai at all. But that was like the only thing.
Oh, they did have a wrestling match.
I have a part to point out on page 15 and then page 16. So on page 15, she says, if we mate like this, I'll get pregnant. That's just bad sex education.
That's also something that tends to pop up in hentai a lot.
Yeah, that.
It's just...
That's a hentai trope.
And then the next page, she says, oh, this sex is so great, it's definitely gonna make me... There's no way I won't get pregnant. Bad sex is also gonna get you pregnant. It's just sex.
You know what? I just thought of something. And, I don't know, maybe I should have brought it up while we were talking about, like, the cat features earlier. But have you noticed that... Well, I guess I'll wait till we get to the Catboys. It's more pronounced there.
Well, you can go ahead and get the ball rolling on that.
Have you noticed that always, whenever they use their tongues, they always keep the sandpaper tongue?
Yeah.
Which is weird to me, but I guess if you're like a cat fetishist, like, you're into that. But how come none of the boys ever have a barbed penis? Is a little consistency too much to ask for?
I don't think the girls would want that. Though,
You know,
it makes sense. Yeah.
This is the joke.jpg, but yes. I'm just saying, you picking and choosing. Cat fetish, picking and choosing.
I forgot about the tongue thing though,
Yeah, that does come up in this one where she's giving him a blowjob and then he's like, oh, you have like the cat tongue, it feels so nice.
Fuck that! Fuck that! I read that in the first one and I'm like, there's a short list of shit that I would rather do than have a fucking cat's tongue on my fucking dick.
so it's a short list.
Yeah, a short list of things I would rather do.
Yeah, so there are not very many things you wouldn't mind having the cat tongue.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, cat tongue is way towards the bottom of shit that I want to do. And then there's a couple things below that, like, that probably involve hacksaws.
Okay, I got it.
Jesus Christ. It was right on the head, too. Like, I gotta feel that shit. No. Fuck that noise. That does not feel good.
Yeah, so what you were saying, Ani, that just seems to be like a hentai trope where it's like, oh, well, he's fucking me so hard kind of thing, and it's so good. This is definitely going to get me pregnant. Also, something I noticed that comes up with these Catgirl hentais is the whole breeder fetish aspect of it.
It's so weird.
I can see
to
it.
me, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder if that kind of goes into the whole animal play, pet play kind of thing, where it's like, oh, you're an animal, you're meant to be pregnant kind of thing.
But it didn't work like that with the Catboys.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't want the Catboys to get them pregnant. So it's just a female thing, because that's all we're good for.
Well, here's another question I was going to ask before we transferred over to Catboys instead of Catgirls. Did you notice there were any differences between what was fetishized or what was focused on with Catgirls that was different than how it was with Catboys?
Well, yeah, like the heat for one, I guess. Did the first one mention pregnancy?
No, I don't think so.
Well, what I wanted to ask, I guess, kind of apropos of the previous thing. I think when women, because of women's nurturing instinct, you know what I mean? Is it fair to say that women naturally have more of a nurturing instinct than guys? Would you agree to that?
I mean,
No.
Sure.
You can tell me I'm wrong. I think that when women fantasize about being pregnant, it's not done in a sexual way, whereas
I don't think,
some guys do for some reason.
I don't think many women fantasize about being pregnant. It's not a pleasant thing.
Well, I don't know.
I
Have
think
you
this is
seen the breeder fetish come up in a lot of, like, I guess, hentai geared towards women?
I don't know if it comes up as much, but it is something that comes up in like a romantic context, right? Where it's like, this is where it's going to go, you and I will be together. That results in a child kind of thing.
Right, but it's not, like, sexualized.
I guess, no. I guess it's more of a long term, it's not a sexualized thing, I guess.
There are women, though, who fetishize the idea of becoming pregnant. Not that they actually want to become pregnant, in the same way that somebody who has a rape fantasy doesn't actually want to be raped.
Oh, yeah, I guess there's that, what do they call it, the ovipositor fucking dildo that shoots eggs into you.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, you haven't heard of that?
No.
It's like an alien penis. Somebody's going to buy this right now. It's like an alien penis.
Bad Dragon has them.
Oh, there you go. See? BadDragon.com. Sponsor us! you kind of like pump it like a shotgun and go and shoots an egg in your vag or your butt, you know, wherever.
Annie and I were watching a video where people were guessing other people's fetishes, and a girl brought that one up where she has that alien impregnation fetish.
But it's not
and she
just,
talks about having one of those.
But it's having an egg in her nose.
Yeah, hers was specifically the egg thing that she found erotic, but that is a thing, though, where people fantasize about being impregnated, and sometimes by alien creatures and stuff like that.
I just imagine that has to be like one of the most horrific fucking experiences, to know that you have this life form lodged inside you that is, to the extent of our biology, a horrific monster that might eat you, that's going to come crawling out of you. And God knows if any doctor on Earth knows how to abort it. That's fucking terrifying to me.
That's why I couldn't watch Splice, the movie Splice, and nope, I couldn't watch that one. Yeah. Like, nope, I couldn't do
Is
that.
it terrifying to you because you think about where it's going to come out from? Like, is it going to come out through your penis? That would hurt so much.
No, I think when I think about it from a woman's point of view, but you still have some sort of, I don't know, I think we've been doing a fair bit of kink shaming on this one, and I don't mean to.
Yeah, me neither. I'm so sorry.
If you're into ovipositors, if you're into... I really want to say if you're into cats, but that's kind of...
Just don't go raping any cats, please.
Especially the strange. Don't do that. Don't do anything. Yeah, don't do anything.
Clear, informed consent.
Yeah.
Yes, and animals cannot give any of that.
You know what's strange? I guess bestiality, I don't know if it's a common enough fetish that we hear about it, or we hear about the few times that it pops up because it's so rare. Nobody's ever made like animal sex dolls, to the best of my knowledge.
I'm glad.
Like maybe they're somewhere on the dark web, but you know, you can go to the porno store and buy like a plastic asshole, but like nobody's ever made like a horse vagina.
That would just be encouraging it. But then you know what? Bad Dragon has the horse dildos.
Did they really? There's got to be like a fucking katana.
Have you never Have
You can
not
choose the
been to a
sizes.
sex shop where they have actual fucking penis katanas? I remember I saw that the first time I went with my friends to a sex store and we were like, oh, we're 18, let's go look at the weird shit they have there. And then I remember like, oh my god, look, an actual dildo sword.
And he bought it.
No,
He
it was
totally
like,
bought it.
It was like 250
I saw it. It's in his room.
I kind of want one now. Just stick it on the fucking wall. Put it with a bunch of other swords. See who notices. Who's got the balls to bring it up? Is that a fucking dick?
Josh has it right next to his guitars mounted on the wall.
That was way too expensive.
Somebody breaks in. Oh my, one machine did.
My friends and I were joking about that. Imagine how scared somebody would be if they tried robbing you or fighting you and you go to your car, pull out the 3-foot-long dildo sword and be like, come on, bro. Bring it on.
I know how to use this.
I'm a fucking real good man.
Maybe that's what I should get because I have like a genuine fear of somebody breaking into my house. I just need to get a huge dildo.
Like, whoa.
It doesn't matter what kind of combat style you use. You can use it like a rapier and kind of jab it in their mouth.
Like, boom.
All right, everybody comment below the superior dildo fighting style.